Microphone. All right, everybody want to take a seat? Take a seat. We're going to get going here. Everybody want to take a seat? Take a seat. We're going to get going. All right, let's get this thing in. Boy, we are messed up today. Woo! All right. We are out of control.
I mean, the problem is we don't have, the problem is have the cold coming off the lake. You don't have that.
You're Tyler, how are you, brother? Good.
Watch Tom show up as you start teaching.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
We're live. Yeah.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right? It's sort of a. So everybody slept in this morning except for us. I just read this talk.
Changes. Yeah.
Okay, let's, one thing we can do, let's open in prayer. How about that? Okay. All right. Lord, thank you for the chance to assemble together, to be here, to worship you, to focus on the things that you've given us to do in life, our purpose, our mission. We come before you and ask for your healing touch on each one of us. You would work in our lives. We pray for Tom and for others who are not here, the time change and how that they'll feel bad when they realize what happened, but help us to use our time wisely. And thank you for joining us. We pray in your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
So how many of us like school? Anybody like school?
Yay!
Lisa Marie likes that. People like school. Okay. How many people were here last week?
Yay!
Oh, good. This is good. Anybody remember what I talked about last week?
Nope.
Lisa Marie, what did I talk about? Yes, please.
Shoot. What you were talking about. I'm sorry, but I can't regurgitate it. I was here and I thought it was super informative.
I'm hanging out to dry.
Were we talking about reviews? I don't remember. This year too, and it was super informative. It was informative.
That was the week before.
Chad.
I watched part of it online, and
Yes.
I did see that you went through all the different things you need to increase your customers. One of them was financing, one of them was marketing, and then you had a few other bullets.
Nice check. Come on.
Here's the chat. You listen. So it was about growing your business. And I talked about how some people in here are new, they're thinking of starting a business, some people have a successful business, but if you're at the point where you've launched your business, now what do you do next? How do you grow it, right? How do you grow your business? So I'm gonna have a discussion here and we'll talk about what people are doing. If you have a business, if you're thinking of a business where you are in that planning stage, or if you're established and how you're growing it to the next level. And I think I'll call on Carlos first.
Oh, no. Yes. What was the question?
He was hanging on his phone, you guys saw
I was
that.
trying to answer Zoom calls. Please help me out. The one, what I see is try to tap on every door that's in your space. If you are a plumber, I would find ways to go to mobile home parks. I would go to apartments. I would go anywhere and try to get a card into their hand, to the hand of the human. Because we're all gonna need something at some point in time. I would expand locally and then try to go statewide, nationwide, and globally. The way to grow business that I see is be smart with your money. If ever you're going to make a deal with somebody, try to get, there's no guarantees left, but try to give a good example. We want to do Facebook advertising with the company. Do you have a conversion rate? What does that conversion rate cost? What are the results? Try to get something in today's market. You should be able to get some kind of result if you put $100,000 or $10,000 into something, and then you try to grow that back in and double down. Business is rough. The competitors find a way. They mortgage their houses. They put a credit card. So you got to be up. You have to be willing to take that step in business.
Lou, what do you think? You buy and sell businesses. Tell us about how somebody could grow their business, buying and selling or acquiring.
I would tell my clients to grow their business or for myself to grow my business.
Either one.
Either one. Okay, I am independent broker, so I can't have too much business going on at one time. I try to limit it to 5 clients. And the reason being, if I have more than 5, I can't give the personal attention that I give my clients to each one. I'd be denying the client now the personal time, considering service that I provide. But let's say I only have 1 or 2 clients and I'm working at a time and I need to expand my business. At that point, I work with other buyers or sellers. And if I walk into a business and when you meet somebody, you always say, how are you? And they say, I'm doing fine, right? Okay, well, I walk into a business and I ask the same thing. How's business going? And they're gonna answer one or 2 ways. They're gonna say, oh, business is going great. You wanna buy another one? Oh, business is going terrible. You wanna sell this one? So
You get them both ways.
So I get it both ways. When I do have a client that's looking for specific industry, specific business, let's say somebody from Florida calls up and says, I'm coming to San Diego and I would like to buy a pet supply business. Okay, well, what I do is I go down and I do research on the pet supply industry. Every library has a category of every industry is numbered as the SIC. And the SIC will tell you how many businesses are in San Diego County, California, or the Southwest. So if they're coming to San Diego, I know that I'll look to find out in San Diego County, there are 3,807 businesses that have to do with pet supplies. So I find out the 3,700 businesses, but I want to know a specific area. Specific area, let's say they're looking for Pacific Beach area. Pacific Beach area, there's, let's say, 30 of those supply businesses in there. I look up the supply businesses owners because it also shows the name of the operator and when he started the business. Well, I find one that the business started in 1950. Another one started in 1999. Another one started in 2000. So I'm looking and say, well, in 1950, the first generation starts a business. The second generation expands the business. And the third generation usually sells the business. So if they started in 1950, they're probably about the 3rd generation already. They're ready to sell. Hey, Mr. Seller. My name is Lou. And I've got a client who's very interested in your type of business. Have you been thinking about retiring? I haven't asked him to tell him. Are you thinking about retiring? Oh, you are. I can help you that. So that expands my business right there because now I can get that business. But at the same time, I went to the library, I did the research, and I know that there's 39 other pet services businesses in that specific area. Well, I've already started running. I'm already moving along. So why do I start with one? I go to all of them because all of them at some point in time are going to need to sell. And my explanation on that is, if you want to sell today, it might be too late for me to help you. Because I can help you establish a business between 6 to 18 months to get the business ready, prepared to sell. You don't just open up the door and says, hi, I'm for sale. No, the first thing they're gonna ask is, I want to see profit and loss statements for the past 5 years. Profit and loss statements and tax papers, tax returns are two different things. A tax return, you try to minimize the profit that you made because Uncle Sam wants profit on part of that. That's called taxes. So if you show on there that you made $100,000, they're gonna charge you for $100,000. But if you deduct your trip to Hawaii as a business trip, your Lamborghini as a business vehicle, you don't really need a Lamborghini, you could do it in a Ford pickup truck, but you want to drive a Ford Lamborghini. All that are tax legitimate write-offs that you write on there. But on your tax return, those are legitimate write-offs to bring your taxes down. When you do your recasted profit and loss statement, you show the things are buyer discretionary expenses, which is your life insurance that you're having. Your business doesn't need you to have life insurance. You do. Your health insurance for you and your family. Your business doesn't need that health insurance. You do. So those are all benefits that are benefiting the owner. Those are benefits that, well, if somebody looks at this, well, it shows you in your tax returns that you only made $50,000. Yeah, but the rare that I had, the Lamborghini and the trip to Hawaii, I made every 6 months, and those are benefits that the buyer wants to say, hey, I would like to drive a Lamborghini. I'd like to go to Hawaii every 6 months. I'd like to do this. Those are considered seller discretionary earnings. And seller discretionary earnings is what makes a sale for business.
Interesting. I'm gonna go trade in my car right now. Counselor, you ready to speak? We're just sharing information because our speaker, Tom Terrific, is still snoozing.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you. By the way, besides daylight saving time.
Oh, Tom is here. Tom Terrific. Tom, come right on up. Come right on up. Give him a minute to get organized.
It's all squared away.
That's the second time we disturbed my nap.
You had the wrong watch?
I had the wrong watch.
Well, that's right. You got-
Tom, you're not alone.
I switched one.
You wind your watch up.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, sorry, I slipped the tie.
Yeah.
Keeps the shirt. Keeps the shirt on.
Yeah.
Well, what I'd like to do today, just to share while we're getting all the technology fixed up, is we have been working on putting together our company, which is Co-op Trade, which has actually absorbed my company, Dartmouth Associates. So it's now a wholly owned subsidiary of Co-op Trade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you essentially the pitch that I'm going to be giving for the first time publicly to Craig's nice group down in Chula Vista.
Yeah! So what's your business about?
Well, that took me about an hour.
It's worth it.
No, my wife said, she's from back east, and she said, well, if you can't tie one of these in the dark, you just can't get married, so. I had to put that on.
Ouch.
Now.
There it is. All right.
Be careful. It may.
All right.
We're awake again.
Check, check. We're all set. We're all set. All right, I just want to make sure, what am I pressing? This one right here?
Right, that's right.
All right. Okay, good morning again. My apologies for being late. As somebody said, it probably took me an hour to tie the bow tie. So I'm all set. In any case, I want to thank all of you for being here. Craig, I want to thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Tom Schenck, and I'm the CEO of Co-op Trade. And what I'd like to do today is to tell you a little bit about the services of a new company that we have recently acquired by the name of Dartmouth Associates. Dartmouth Associates is the only online training program across the world for admission professionals. We're very excited because Dartmouth Associates is part of a $350 billion industry in online training. And what we specifically do is we have the only sales training for admission professionals. What we are essentially doing is we are solving the crisis in private education, both private colleges and universities around the world. What is happening is that over the last 2 years, 500 schools and colleges have closed. And of the 90,000 schools and colleges around the world, 50% are operating below revenue needs. Why? Because you've got too much competition between trade schools and other online certificate programs. You don't have enough kids in the world. That has been shrinking. In fact, the US population has stabilized. We're not going up anymore. And the money in the hands of fewer people.
So what's really happening is the admission officers in all these private schools do not have the training to aggressively engage families anymore. It used to be they were like order takers. Somebody would call up, I want to come to your school, please fill out an application, but that's not happening anymore. These folks lack the aggressive sales training that they absolutely need. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I was raised in San Diego. I went to Crawford High School. I went to Mesa College, San Diego State, and Dartmouth College back east. I started this company with a passion. I had a mother who raised 7 of us while she was changing the lives and generations of kids for over 30 years at Gompers Junior High School in Southeast San Diego. While at the same time, she worked as a waitress on the weekends for extra money and gained her master's degree in counseling going to night school.
Wow.
So she taught me not only the value of education and how it can really shape the world, but also that you never give up on anything that you are working on currently. One of the issues, as I said, with these closing schools is we're solving that crisis. Let me tell you a little bit about our company. Co-op Trade, as I said, recently acquired Dartmouth Associates. And Co-op Trade was actually approved by the SEC in 2019. What we've done is we've applied for the acquisition of Dartmouth Associates. And what we've been able to do is to have this application hopefully done within the month. And we know that one of the things that's crucially important for any stock to be publicly traded is we have to have things in place that are going to make sure that it's successful. We've done a lot of research, and we know that it's important to be absolutely aggressive in creating a volume for our shareholders. We've already acquired a company that is going to show us how to do crowdfunding. We have a broker dealer that's already engaged. And so by the time we are approved, we are going to be able to be ultimately trading on the over-the-counter market. This was our original approval by the SEC. And these are some of the services of Dartmouth Associates. And if you'd like to know more specifically about all of our different services and products, you can go to dartmouthassociates.com. We've got a lot of tremendous support. In fact, we have an advisory board that offers over 240 years of experience in finance, in law, entrepreneurship. In fact, Craig is on our board. To show you a little bit of how exciting this market is, as I said, it's a $350 billion market now. But it's scheduled to grow to $1 trillion in 2028. In fact, to give you a little bit of an idea, Udemy is the largest online company in the world. They start a business services training program and had revenues of $1 million. 5 years later, it's $100 million.
Wow.
So we are very, very excited about where we're going with Dartmouth Associates. I want to thank you very much for your kind attention. I would love to chat with you more if you'd like to know what we're doing in the future. Yes, Craig.
I'm here to share would say conversations to set up a psychological test in high school.
That's something we're very excited about. One of the things we're doing is it's not just the only online training for sales professionals who are recruiting students. No one in the world is offering this training. But that's only part of what we're offering. We're offering different products and services that are going to allow schools to distinguish themselves. And one of those ways is assessment test. It's a world-class assessment test that really combines 5 of the top tests we've heard of. Some of those tests are the WISC, the DISC, or Myers-Briggs. We've combined all of those. So as a school is interviewing kids, they can say to a family, we even have an assessment test as we evaluate your child that's going to allow them to see what not only classes they're taking, but perhaps what careers. It's a very sophisticated test. So not only are we going to introduce it to schools, but we have some further plans to introduce it to the U.S. military, as well as public high schools around the country. Yes.
Billion to trillions, like what is that based on? How do we know?
That's an excellent question. What is happening is that there will probably never be another bricks and mortar college in our lifetime ever built. What we're seeing is a proliferation of people, number one, questioning, is a 4-year college even viable anymore? So what you've got certificate programs. In fact, Facebook said, we don't care where you went to college, can you do the work? So what we're finding is more and more kids are saying, maybe a certificate program is all I need in program. So you've got all these subsets of an education that people are going after, because is a liberal education really going to help my career? So that's where that growth is coming from. It's a lot of people going, what can I do besides the 4-year education that is going to give me a viable income? So that's where that growth is coming from. In fact, the other side of it is the business side, as you have corporations that are continually having to bring people in and retrain them or train them or give them new certifications. They don't have time to hire full-time trainers. So that's why they've gone to a company like Udemy. And this is part of the exciting growth for us. Yes.
So there's one question about countries and languages. Is everything delivered in English? Is it delivered globally? What's your
That's an excellent question. This is a global phenomenon. And if you look at Udemy, it's in all languages across the world. Our target market for now will be the 90,000 English-speaking schools around the world. Will we expand beyond that? That remains to be seen. But if we just take those 90,000 schools and we say to ourselves, we are going to capture 2.5% of those 90,000. That's going to give us a revenue of about 3.7 million each year for the next 3 years with the capital that we will raise. Yes, sir. Oh. Okay. Yes, great.
How do people profit from co-op trading? Very blunt.
The way we make money, Craig, excellent question, is we have a very specific training program. And our target market, again, are schools and colleges who are either in a chronic crisis of under-enrollment, or they are now experiencing it for the first time. So we have a program, the cost is $30,000 for 3 months. And we give them online weekly support sessions. They have micro videos so they can review all the points that they've been taught as well as a 150-page playbook. That's part of this training. Yes, Craig?
How do you get a hold of stock?
Where we are right now is we are going to have our approval by the SEC in about a month. And at that time, we will be able to have stocks available for purchase. In fact, people that talk to us now will have the availability of discounted stocks. Once we go to the OTC, anybody who buys stocks from us in the pre-IPO period are now going to be able to sell their stocks on the open market in what they call the over-the-counter desk, otherwise known as pink sheets. Some people have said, well, the pink sheets don't seem to be moving very well, but that's why I talked about the strategies. You've got to create a volume. And that's why we've done our research, and we know that using crowdfunding, having a broker-dealer network, we're going to be able to create some excitement with these stocks. Yes, sir.
Now, Tom, I know this is a problem. My niece goes to the University of Laverne. They actually just hired a new director of admissions, and she is working for him, but they have a real problem with enrollment right now. And they have not seen a problem this big since the institution.
That's right. And this, just to piggyback on it a little bit, what's happened is it used to be there were so many people interested in going to these schools, they would call up because they heard of the school. Well, when things got a little tighter, schools started marketing. In fact, it's only been the last 30 years that schools even use the word marketing. It was kind of a scary term. Now everybody's got a director of marketing. The next phase that we're taking advantage of is anybody that's been in marketing knows that that's just bringing you the leads. You have to be able to close the deal. And that's where our training comes in. In fact, do we have competition? Absolutely. But our competition does not even use the word sales yet. In education, it was kind of a scary word. But when you're the head of a school and you're down $3.5 million over the last 3 years, you understand what sales is about. Yes, Craig.
When I went to Founders Day yesterday, the Academy Founders Day.
Yes.
And they're having problems recruiting for the academies.
Oh, wow.
It's very interesting. If like they have the comment I'm talking. But you know, and saying no, we're not getting, even if we're getting volume, we're not getting quality. So it's just there's a really a dearth of applicants, and they don't quite know why. You know? So it's actually terrible. Yeah.
Yes, Elizabeth.
What's crowdfunding?
Crowdfunding.
Hawaii.
Well, many times, most of you have probably heard of crowdfunding. Sometimes you'll see someone trying to ask for donations if someone passed away. They're looking for funeral expenses. What happened was, in about 2012, Obama created an act that allowed for the first time ever the non-accredited investors, to simplify it, if you didn't have a net worth of $1 million, you could not purchase these stocks. Now, through crowdfunding and this act, it allows us to bring in anybody who would like to purchase stocks. You don't have to be what they call an accredited investor. So what crowdfunding does, what we're involved in, is it's specific crowdfunding for the application that we're using to the SEC. Is called a Regulation Tier 2 application. Yes, sir.
You were talking about, I was talking to you yesterday about that compass test. That would put you in high school. That's exciting.
Well, that's very exciting because, as most of you probably knew from your public high school experiences, there were 2 guidance counselors for about 1,000 kids.
2,000 kids.
3,000, 4,000, right? And the beauty of the assessment test, as I said, it just doesn't talk about their individual proclivities. It literally focuses them on specific careers and what schools they might want to consider, whether they be online or bricks and mortar. Excellent question. So the crowdfunding that we're using is a company called WeFunder. You're able to put your pitch deck together, you're able to put together all of your facts and figures, and they will promote us out to their investors. Yes, sir.
What would you say would be the main benefit of going to certificate between your, say, college degree, what would be the break-even point between these two different cases? So what would make a certificate better than a college degree in the long run overall?
I think a sense for a lot of these kids is personal urgency. And
I can answer that.
please, go ahead, Greg.
Here's the problem. First of all, higher education is very costly. I ended up going to the academy because of sports, so people literally give away their soul to get an education. You get out of college, you get 20,000, 30,000. That's fine. You're just borrowing. And it seems absurd now. So if you can get a very narrow beam, like a tax certificate, or something that's a high need, and the employer knows this, okay, you're good to go. Now maybe I can't spell your name, but you're an expert in that little beam, you're good to go.
Yeah, they're seeing their friends. They both graduated from high school, and their friend has got a programming degree, and that friend is making $100,000 a year after about 8 months. And
Let me jump in.
please.
We gave a global speech the other day on global what's happening and stuff. And so there's going to be a repatriation of businesses, construction. You want to get money, become a welder. Go into the trade school, okay? Because, plumber, in fact, I had a client who was an attorney who gave up being attorney as a plumber. And he's making, 6 figures. So there's a shift, there's actually a shift. And so, liberal arts takes on. Liberal arts is nothing. It's a soft. Soft is what you want. Psychology. Did I answer the question?
Absolutely. Yep. Nope, very clearly. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Yes. By the way, if somebody needs to go, please go, because it's, you've got to meet the service. Dominic.
Are you engaging universities to sell your product?
At this point, we are engaging universities to buy our product. We are not engaging them to sell, for example, the assessment test to people.
The actual educational programs, are they able to contract with people to sell them?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility, absolutely.
What we're going through now is a transition. I mean, over 50 years ago, this is telling you how old I am. My sociology professor said, get a welding card, train yourself in welding, you'll always have a job. Now let's go back to studying political science or whatever we were studying. And I once saw a guy that ran casinos and read this back when I was probably in the 70s as well. Casinos in Las Vegas who hired a liberal arts degree graduate to run casinos. And go, wait, what does he know about casinos? He liked liberal arts because it gives you a broad people management skills. So somewhere between that and the trades is the perfect combination, I hope, and that have you approached the universities for giving credit to students with your training? Say, yeah, we'll give you credit hours, but we also want you to take creative writing that you need to be well-rounded. So actually using your programs to continue to sell their standard college curriculum. So, really everybody get behind the combination.
That's absolutely what I think colleges need to do, is to, come to our college and we will give you a hybrid opportunity of education. You want to be a welder and a philosopher, we can do that for you. You want to get a certificate degree, absolutely. Anyway, thanks for everybody's attention. I know there are other people that want to go public. This is basically a pitch deck that I've shown you, and companies do what basically called the dog and pony show in front of a lot of people. And we can't really, we can't solicit anybody to, hey, write us a check for this. But basically, stay in touch with us. As soon as we get our approval, then we're going to be able to have some stock options for you. Yes.
What's the price of the stock before the IPO?
Pre-IPO, it's, you're going to get a 20% discount. So it's going to be about $1. It'll open on the trading floor at $1.30. For us, it'll be $1 a share. And at this point, we don't have a minimum purchase.
All right.
So thank you, everybody. For your time.
Welcome. Glad we kind of got it working. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great day. God bless.
Here's this. I don't want you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Lou, thank you. Nice to see you.
Yes.